What's up guys, I'm JacobTSuggs and welcome back to another video. So if you follow my channel then you'll know I'm a fan of films, and more specifically a few franchises that I personally credit as the pieces of art that have shaped me into who I am today. Yes, I also love indie films and A24 films. I mean, seriously, they make some of the best films out there today. But for the sake of today's discussion, I kinda want to focus on the big ones. You know, franchises like Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, and Cloverfield. Now, I know you're thinking, wow, I had no freaking idea that this guy liked Cloverfield since we all watched him geek out over the ARG to the Cloverfield paradox about 5 months ago in all of those videos, but hear me out for a quick minute. I'm a sucker for a good mystery, especially one that captures the attention of so many people, and considering that J.J. Abrams' entire career is based around something called the mystery box, it's no secret as to why he's one of my favorite directors, if not my favorite director, working today. And yeah, you're right, I have discussed Cloverfield before in more than enough ways: the plots, the characters, the ARGs or viral marketing campaigns that accompanied each new film, but there's something big that I haven't talked about yet, and I'm not necessarily talking about this beefy boy right here. I'm talking about why I love the series in the first place, and there's a few reasons as to why I love it, but I think that there's one massive reason as to why Cloverfield as a series works for me and intrigues me to no end, so why not talk about that today? See, back in 2007 when Cloverfield was announced when Transformers was released in theaters, I was 9 years old, meaning that although the film was definitely up my alley and probably would have interested me back then, there's no way in heck that my parents would have let me watch it. Quick side note, my parents aren't like overprotective or anything, but it's a scary kind of monster movie and they probably didn't want to subject 9-year-old little Jacob to giant monster movie, if you catch my drift. So time went by and I missed the ARG for the first film aside from a few marketing things, and although I always wanted to see the film, I never got a chance to. Jump to early 2015, where I was hanging out with my youth pastor one day after school, and we started talking about movies since that's kind of something that I enjoy. We flipped through some of his old DVDs when I came across it. Cloverfield, that mysterious film produced by that big-name director that I loved, and I immediately asked to borrow it. I went home, popped it into my Xbox, and for the next hour and a half, my life would forever be changed, unbeknownst to me. Cloverfield was a film that completely blew my mind and inspired me further to make films of my own and want to tell stories in general. I watched all of the behind-the-scenes features and was just in awe that a film this big was kept that much under wraps. It wasn't too long after that to where I discovered Reddit and met a ton of fans online who loved the film just as much as myself, and introduced me to a whole new side of Cloverfield, the film's ARG. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, ARG stands for Alternate Reality Game, and was basically one giant viral marketing campaign that gave some minor answers to this giant film shrouded in mystery up until release. It deals with corrupt companies, slushy ingredients, and oil drilling, but if you want to know more about that, then my pal Inside of Mine made a fantastic video all about the ARG, which you can check in the description down below. Then something happened. Everything stopped. I felt like I had learned everything, and although I loved the film to death, so many people hadn't seen it. Sure, I would introduce it to the occasional friend, but there weren't many people that were into the film as much as I was, and that's still kind of a problem today. Except for one person. My youth pastor. One rainy night we got dinner together and were discussing movies again when we casually started discussing Cloverfield all over again. I'll never forget him asking me one question that's still burned in my brain today. Do you think that we'll ever get a sequel to Cloverfield? In which I said back, there's not a chance. No, I don't. That night was January 11th, 2016. The next day, I woke up to something that I thought would never happen. A trailer for a little film called 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was attached to 13 Hours and seemingly came out of nowhere. Still to this very day, 10 Cloverfield Lane has one of the best teaser trailers I've ever seen in my life, and the fact that it was 3 months from being released when the trailer came out completely shocked me and literally everyone else even more. And just like that, another ARG was started, dealing with a father trying to reconnect with his daughter, and the lore from the first film was being built upon more and more each and every day. But there was something different this time around. I was 17. I was old enough to play the ARG alongside a ton of other diehard fans who were excited about a pseudo-sequel to an underrated film that honestly we all admired for years now, and I was kind of living the dream. I'll never forget coming home each day from class to talk with people on the message boards, seeing if anybody had found any clues as to solving the mysteries that Abrams, Trachtenberg, and the rest of Bad Robot scattered across the web, and made some pretty cool friendships in the process of doing that. For the next 3 months, I wouldn't shut up about my excitement for the film, and even purchased my tickets in advance. Now, unfortunately, my plans for attending opening night would be scrapped due to a terrible cold, but the next day I trudged through everything, including the pain, to watch the film that I was so eagerly anticipating, and it was absolutely worth it. 10 Cloverfield Lane is a film that inspires me to want to make films. I've already said that, and if you watch this channel, you pretty much already know that, and is hands down one of my all-time favorite films. I have no problem saying that at all. And after watching the film, we all speculated as to where the series could go next, and how everything could be connected together. Now, sure, we had a few clues that Abrams laid out for us, but in a flash, everything went quiet again. There were murmurs for a long time about Cloverfield 3, with the original script for God Particle leaking online, and all of us trying to figure out what new additions would be added to make it a Cloverfield movie. But with release date pushback after pushback, things started to feel bleak, and the ARG wasn't off to a good start, and it felt like we were waiting for a film that, to put it frankly, would never really come out. Soon enough, another ARG did start, and everything kind of got back on track, and it was just as engaging as before, and to be honest, helped me make a name for myself in the community, as by this point in time, I had a YouTube channel and my YouTube videos providing updates on what was happening were really fun for me to make, and kept those who couldn't play up to date, and it's just something that I enjoyed talking about. Then one day I went to go see Phantom Thread in theaters with my pal Carson, who you might know from some of my other videos, and I remember I looked at him and said, honestly, my most anticipated film of the year is Cloverfield 3, God Particle, whatever they're calling it. I know it's coming, I just don't know when. That was February 3rd, 2018. That night, Carson and I were watching the the big game at my house when a little trailer came on.
Possible earthquake near the Statue of Liberty.
Looks like you should have left town a little bit earlier.
Whatever you're doing, stop.
I literally screamed out loud in my home, and if you don't believe me, just take a look at what Carson tweeted about it moments after the teaser aired on live television. That night was one of the most stressful and fun nights of my entire life, as Reddit just went insane and we tried to connect the dots, and at midnight, we were all able to watch the Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix. And now, nothing. It's been months since the Cloverfield Paradox was released, and with no word on another film in development right now, I have no clue as to when the next Cloverfield film is gonna be released. There's speculation that Bad Robot's Overlord in October could be the next Cloverfield movie, or even the script that they acquired called Colma could be the next installment, but to be honest with you, it's just all speculation. Even J.J. Abrams confirmed that a true sequel to the first film is in development, but ever since he announced that, we haven't heard anything else. We're in the stage of waiting again, and to be honest, that's absolutely fine by me. Yes, I love the mystery of this series and how it's essentially a modern-day Twilight Zone on a more cinematic scale, but that's not why I truly love this series. I love it because it brings people together unlike any other film series today. You don't see Star Wars fans trying to play an online game that connects to the upcoming Episode 9. You don't see Marvel fans trying to look for a company logo in the background of something like Infinity War. The closest thing to Cloverfield was Jurassic World, which tried to have an ARG to amp up the release for Fallen Kingdom, but failed horribly due to, well, little traction and not a lot of people being invested. Cloverfield is special. It owns its mysteriousness and honestly a franchise that I consider to be underrated despite having 3 installments. Sure, not everybody loved Paradox, myself included, though I did like the film, but you know what? These films come out of nowhere and immediately spark chatter online from a select community that I'm proud to be a part of. I love explaining why I get so excited for these films, and yeah, I like all of the films, but I love the excitement, mystery, and most importantly, the community even more. I love Cloverfield so much, and if you haven't seen the films, I highly recommend them. All of them I think are pretty good, but hey, that's just my opinion, and if you haven't seen them, just maybe check them out. You might be surprised and might fall in love with a series that you never really guessed that you would. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means a ton to me, and if you want to donate to my Patreon, link is in the description down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe give it a share. And as always, I'm Frame by Frame. Remember the name. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.